Dad, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Come on. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. Whoa, last time I checked, I'm still hot. Real hot. Kept it dope without a pill pop. Bill 𝗙𝗘, steady climbing to the hilltop. Tip top, did it all off of a TikTok. Yeah, last time I checked, I still that guy that did it on my own. Stay independent. For you to get what I'm getting, it will probably take a village. Just give me a minute, turn a snippet to a hit, and now they all want a percentage, but I'm only paying visits.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy, Dr. OD, and in this vlog, we're gonna show you guys a day in my life as a physical therapy clinic owner. I just got back from Vegas, and I'm speaking to a physical therapy school, and we have an awesome meeting with one of our new referral partners and partners in the community, which I'm gonna show you guys exactly how we do that. I'm giving away all this stuff for free, and we're gonna show you a day in my life, a couple days of my life actually. So make sure you go subscribe. I know you're already subscribed because you wouldn't watch this and not be subscribed. And make sure you like the video before it starts because I already know you're gonna like it. Let's get to the video, let's go.
I got her moving in tandem, militant how I'm advancing. Hold the baton, salary look like a ransom. She said it's making me handsome, showing me off. They said I've been getting cocky, this is my modesty anthem. Hold the applause, slippers of ruby, I'm dancing. Feel like I've been out in Kansas, Wizard of Oz, I'm...
Good morning, good morning.
How you guys doing?
Good.
What's up, man?
You know what,
Appreciate you, baby.
Hi.
Good to see you, baby. How you been, man?
Good.
It's been a while, man. Good?
Hi. Give me a hug. Remember you
Yeah,
from a
yeah,
long
yeah.
time ago?
Yes, right?
Yeah.
No, this is Tyler.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah. This is Mitch.
How you doing, Mitch?
Yeah, I am Nick.
Jake just showed up. This is our
Good to see you, man.
What's up,
Good to
man?
see you.
Nice to meet you, Dr.
Jake, this is Nick. Dr. Odell,
You
this
guys,
is
this
Nick.
facility is amazing.
Well, it's, you know, it serves, man, for like our, you know, our needs and, you know, the guy who owns the building, his son played baseball for Madeline.
Okay.
And,
He kind of built this when hardball fans closed.
yeah,
And then.
right, and you guys are just
Right down
the
4
road,
minutes.
that's what Nick said, you gotta go, man, you guys are right down the road from us.
Yeah,
So,
I work
yeah.
at a Northern Fit a lot, so.
Yeah, okay, right, so you're right across
Exactly,
the street,
exactly.
so perfect, man,
Yeah,
so.
Jesse.
Yeah, okay, yeah, super cool, you've met
Yeah, I
Jesse.
was there and met him.
Yeah, I
You
met
guys,
her.
you haven't met?
I haven't met Jesse yet. She's met Jesse, but I'd like to meet him.
Yeah, that'd be a
You
really
know.
good collaboration for you guys as well.
Well,
Absolutely,
that's a
man.
nice thing too for our clients that wanted more of a gym. 'Cause
Right.
He's got everything.
Right.
We just got a
Yeah, we've got just our functional stuff. So yeah, so no,
That
it's
makes sense.
perfect, man. So yeah, it's good, man. Well,
And a lot of our referrals come right from Bronson, so you
Okay.
know, that's another thing I think that we might be able to help with is making that connection.
That's
because
really cool.
That's
Yeah.
really a big driver for us, is that they send people to us all the time. And so when somebody comes in, one of our big things is to figure out, you know, if they're in neutral alignment and whatever the problem is. So take the health history, get all the information. Maybe they're coming in because their knee hurts or their back hurts or they just want to be more fit. But what has been the history? So just to get an idea, although
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys see all the time that even if they give you the history, until you actually do the exams, and
Exactly.
you're like, well, what's wrong with your left leg? And they're like, oh, I broke that skiing last week.
Yeah, it's like, well, you didn't tell me that. Yeah.
Right.
great.
So we get their basic information we can, and then we usually have them go through some functional movements and some table work. But ours is a hybrid, so it's not, you know, the old, what is the functional movement system or whatever.
Yeah,
Moved
yeah,
away,
that's
we
nice.
learned all that stuff, and then we just kind of adjusted it to
The
make,
foundation makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
make sense with it. And so we usually put them on one of these tables. So we have these two permanent ones, and there's a temporary one over here.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
we
one
need
like
to be
that,
able
yeah.
to see what muscles are locked up, what ones are firing, you know, go through and get an assessment. We have a set thing we do, you know, like these are all the things we check, and then we get up and have them do a couple movements depending on what they're here for. So might be a squat, if that makes sense. Might be an overhead squat, you know, it just kind of depends on what we're doing. And then we start building the program. We start with, is everything firing? If it's not firing, how do we get it firing? So that might be some myofascial release, and then if it was hard to get firing, then we start with movements that it's hard to cheat on, you know? So like, say the glute's not firing, then you can't just go have them do a squat because it's not going to fire. So we would try to isolate it as much as we can and with little movements till it gets going, and then you just keep building up the trust with it. You know, make the make the movement more advanced till they're done with that, till they're firing correctly. Which is why, and I think we talked about this, a lot of people get injured and they think this is the end of the world. I had a girl and had 18 months for her shoulder, and really just was getting nowhere. And she was kind of like, I'm never gonna play sports again, and it's over. I think when PT and the doctor are saying, almost like it's your fault that you're not getting better, instead of what's really wrong hasn't been addressed yet.
That's why we do what we do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like,
Will you guys tell us too, or just, I know we've talked, Nick, obviously, but like, you know, just tell us a little bit about, you know, you guys' system that's different than like regular PT.
that makes
You know,
sense.
yeah.
So one of the biggest reasons why we open off the bench is because so I played a little NFL, played football. We work with NFL athletes too. So I was like, that's where the highest level of care is.
Right.
I wanted to bring that back. And then, as everyone knows, like the insurance model, which is what we just got done talking about. So they're just seeing like 3 patients at the same time. I was like, I don't want that care. So we open up off the bench, and we're direct pay. So we don't deal with insurance. Insurance are not medical providers. They don't have the knowledge that any of us have, and they're making decisions based on patient care. So what we did was like cut out that middleman, and we do direct pay. So that's what we do, and we see people who are dealing with shoulder pain, knee pain, whatever they're dealing with, and we stay within our scope of practice as well. Like if we like do our tests and we're like, all right, this might be something more, then we'll send them off, get some imaging, and then come back. So that's what we do too.
Sweet.
I feel like we get a lot of clientele that want to help themselves too, which helps.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
I see a lot of success with that.
For
It's
sure.
like active people who are going to put in the work at home.
I always tell people we only help people that want to help themselves. Like if you don't want to help yourself, you can't come here.
Right.
So like that's our standard. Like because I can do everything that I can give you 150%, but if you're only giving 80% or 70%, I can't help you.
And
So
truthfully, the people who don't want to help themselves aren't going
Aren't
to shell
gonna
out
pay.
money.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And Jake here on our team is going to PT school this summer at Western.
awesome, Jay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So,
Let's
yeah,
see that right here.
yeah, he got it. So he's
Starting
going to.
year 1,
Yeah.
you have to definitely come over and
All right.
shadow us too
Sure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Sure, I would.
We really
Yeah,
will.
yeah. So I think that's a perfect thing. So yeah, you guys. I don't know. I know Nick, you had talked a little bit about like you guys like shoulders, man, is your thing, and obviously we have a lot of the same type of kids,
Yeah.
shoulders issues, and I don't know if you guys would be cool just showing us a couple like things that you guys do or what you assess or maybe some of that stuff,
For sure, we can do that.
Yeah, because we're all about learning, man. We just like to
Yes.
like learn
Same.
and like anything else we can do or know or help us know too when something's maybe like out of our scope. Where we're like, ooh, which we have a good idea, but
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's good to know like, okay, when these things are happening, this is when you need to go see physical therapy or that kind of thing. So,
Yeah. So what do you guys? Let me ask you this: what do you guys see the most? Like, pinching in their shoulder, like what? Pain with throwing, pain with what?
Yeah,
We have a quick of our red flags of shoulders where we don't usually try to see them. As we ask, was there a mechanism of injury? Then we don't.
Right.
We're not your first step. So if
Right.
they're like, I threw the ball and it popped. Okay, well then
Yo.
you got to go somewhere else. This isn't. Or it's aching all night, like they can't sleep, or they've lost significant range of motion or strength. Then in any case, we generally like to send that back, either go to PT or go to their doctor and get that looked at, just to make sure there's not something else wrong that we don't understand. What I think we get a lot of with shoulders, I mean, we get a little bit of everything now, and again, I think it's because we kind of are maybe the junk people, where they're like, I mean, I have a shoulder replacement. And
Yeah.
I think they're like, we're tired of this person complaining, so go see, I have a shoulder replacement. It's not really what we do, but
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
she completed PT and then
Yeah,
came here.
exactly.
But really, it's a lot of the throwing injuries. So as a matter of fact, I have one coming in today or next week. I'm confused on them, but where it's significant internal rotation deficit and then UCL strain. And I think we get that elbow, shoulder, that kind of throwing injuries a ton. A few dislocations that aren't responding to physical therapy. That's a tougher one for us.
Yeah.
And then I don't know.
I think that's probably the
90%
most of
what
like
we
a
see.
shoulder. Yeah, along with that, they might have some biceps tendonitis.
Oh yeah,
or,
so we see
Yeah.
some golfers
a lot of
elbow and
that. We
tennis
see a lot of
elbows.
that.
That
Golfer,
makes sense.
tennis
Yeah.
elbow.
So a lot of like repetitive load type of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scap issues, of course, and all of that. So yeah, I think you're right too. That's kind of where we're like, that's out of our scope.
makes sense.
You need to go see these people, or whatever. But I'm just so curious. We get a lot of referrals for ACLs too. We get that's
That's
probably our
biggest.
biggest thing.
Okay.
Post post physical therapy, but you know how it is. They're not ready to return to sport.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's different with them trying to get back to high level athlete versus
Just walking
just getting it back to walking. Like,
Absolutely.
Two different things. Yeah.
Two different things. And like we always tell people a lot of times, like at least in PT, they're strengthening the quad. They're trying to get the quad to fire, right? They're trying to get all that to work. We're trying to get the backside,
Yes.
because that's where your power comes
Yes.
from, you know, and trying to get them back. And it's amazing at how many people, depending on the physical therapists you see in town, some of these people come in post PT still limping.
Or without
I'm
full
like,
extension.
I'm like, they had you running on the treadmill but you're like, okay.
And in those cases, honestly, we maybe refer them to a different PT.
Yeah, we're like,
in the
yeah,
past.
it goes
Because
somewhere
if it's still like this and they can't straighten it and they're limping and they think they're done with PT, that's probably a problem.
Yeah. We're gonna be your last solution for that.
Okay.
We're gonna be your last solution for that.
Okay.
We actually got a few athletes too.
Yeah.
One ACL that just recently came in. They were actively in PT,
Right.
and they just weren't seeing results. And they were like, all right, we're willing to not even use our insurance and come work with you guys to get back way faster.
Right.
Then we understand like where they're trying to get to. Like most PTs, most healthcare professionals are just getting to general. They don't even know how to work out themselves.
No.
And then a lot of people too, as you know, like especially older individuals, they're like, stop doing this movement. Or we work with a lot of functional lifters like CrossFit and stuff too.
Sure.
All their surgeons and physicians are always like, stop, you shouldn't be doing overhead workouts and stuff. I'm like,
no
what do you
more
mean?
kid
What are you talking about?
Yeah, like what are you talking about? So it's like, come here. We never tell you you can't do it, but we're gonna do is show you how you can do it safely and out of pain.
In and out of
That's
pain.
literally our motto. So we got you.
Like people with knees, where they're like, so they told me never do squats or lunges again. I'm like,
Eh?
you can do
What?
those again. You need
What are
to
you
do
talking
those
about?
again.
Right.
We just got to get you there safely. And
Right,
that's,
right,
you know,
right.
the current
I
standard.
love that. So we have the same mindset. I
Yeah,
love that.
100%. And getting these people like, you know, back to kind of activity in life and like, you know, hey, we want you to be able to move functionally. Your shoulders should move this way.
Yes.
You should be able to do these things. And
Yes.
so, you know, if we can't do it, let's find someone who
Yes.
can get you
Yes.
in that same mindset, you know? So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot of the same kind of
The
people.
other piece of it, I think, too, when it comes to just straight athletes, is that idea of every muscle firing correctly in neutral alignment. That progressed so nicely into training athletes because if everything's firing, and
Yes.
kind of like you, we got a lot of this when we were working with Greg Jennings because when we would go to Minnesota, he had a doctor there, Dr. Sandell, who was doing a lot of this functional movement, and we would go to his clinic and work with him, and that's
Yeah.
where we learned you got to release, you got to get the muscle firing. You know,
Yes.
he's like telling somebody, because like we have so many baseball players, we're like, well,
Yeah.
you can't do well because you aren't driving your hips through.
Yes.
They can't.
Right.
They physically
Yes.
can't. They're
Yes.
completely locked up. And he was saying, telling somebody to move a muscle they can't move is like telling a stroke patient to pick up their foot. They can't
Right.
do
They
it.
can't do it
So
right
you
now.
have
Right.
to get down to the neuromuscular pathway that allows them to move that.
Right.
So that was our new way of thinking.
Yes.
And then so we did that for years. And
That's
then
that's a really NFL level thing. People don't even realize that's what we did in NFL.
Right.
Like, I don't care how strong you are, if your muscles aren't firing,
Doesn't
you
matter.
can't play the best on the field. Like, so we did a lot of muscle activation stuff. So that's really, that's like high level.
How many dudes
It's
have
good
you
to know.
seen? I say this all the time, and Odell, I know you've seen it straight up. Nick, you too. You knew the deal. I knew when I was at Western. There were guys who could squat the house, lift the house, but on the field they can't move.
They can't do
They
anything.
can't
The strongest
do
guys on the team were never the best.
We're
Like,
never
they
the best.
didn't do anything.
And some of the weakest dudes who were just like,
Yeah.
man, I can't. I'm benching 95, but I'm out here balling.
Literally.
you know, because they
Like,
can move.
those
Because
type of people.
exactly,
Yeah.
'cause they're athletes.
Yeah.
They move
That's
very
not-
well. And so our whole model is to get our athletes to move better, to
Yes.
be more athletic.
Yes.
And understanding that, and you guys know as well as I do, these high school weight rooms drive me crazy. You know, they drive us crazy
Yes.
because these dudes, they think they're squatting, then we see them all, they come in, they either get hurt because they don't know what they're doing,
Yeah.
or they come in and they're all locked up. And yeah, that's great, you're squatting, 315 for 10, but like, you're still super slow and you're gonna get hurt, or you're locked up, or you're not as athletic as you wanna be. So that's kind of our whole
the other
thing.
advantage to the model is you can take a B player and make them an A player. Like it's God-given talent that gets you to the NFL.
Yes.
You can't turn everybody into that.
Yes.
But
Right.
you can take a lot of people that maybe weren't even going to play on their high school team, and by getting them more athletic, they're now going to play.
Yes.
Right.
So there's also a lot of fun in that because they
Yes.
want it, but they just, they come in.
Hey, pardon this interruption. It's Dr. OD here. First of all, thanks for watching this video. Second of all, I have an exclusive offer for you. I just launched a new community for physical therapists, healthcare professionals, chiropractors, to where I'm literally teaching people exactly how I was able to open a physical therapy clinic right out of school and earn $40K a month, 6 months out of school. Then also, while I was in physical therapy school, I was able to earn $12.4K a month in school. So guess what? I'm teaching that exact thing in our new community. So make sure you're in the community. Go ahead and click the link below. I got something special for you. Go ahead and join so you and I can get to know each other and hop on the next call. Back to the regular paid. It's actually not paid, you guys. You can get information for free. Back to the regularly scheduled program. Let's go. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love the crossover symmetries.
Yeah. We're a real fan, man. Those crossovers.
Those are nice, right?
Well, how many athletes do we have that have just, either scapular dyskinesia or they're just, they have no ability to feel their back muscles.
Exactly.
And they don't, and everyone's like this, right? So it creates all of that impingement and all that stuff. So yeah, those crossover symmetry
Another
bands.
missed thing we see a lot is that the shoulder problem is because of scapular dyskinesia, and that has been missed. And so that's why they're not getting better, because as soon as they use the arm again with this all out of whack, it's hurting again.
Exactly. And that's one of our big things that we do with the shoulder. We get to the foundation. As you know, the shoulder is like so complex. It's like it's the most complex joint on the body. It's only attached right here. So all the rotator cuff muscles and all the muscles that help you lift as well come in different places. So a lot of times, like the scapular dyskinesia, we see like, we see like muscles not firing when they're supposed to fire. So like sometimes right here, it's almost trapped will be fired or something like that too early in the sequence. So we work a lot with like the basics. So as you know, it tilts, rotates, and stuff like that too. So a lot of times with pinching, this is like the number one thing that we see is like a disengaged low track. So the scap is sitting high. You probably see a lot of people just walking like, because of the backpacks, typing, everything, the sport. So a lot of times we get their shoulder like in the foundational position, which is back and down. Like tell people to keep their chest up and down. Like it looks like you're walking around with a big chest, like you're trying to be like strong or something, but that's actually how you're supposed to walk around.
And like you said, we see a lot of trapping.
Exactly.
Like they can't
And that's one of
depress
the
their
first things
shoulder.
we look at when especially a baseball player walks in. If they're walking in like this, I'm like, does that feel good to you? You feel balanced right now? And they're like, yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Just work on. I can see just looking at you. We're gonna have to do something. And sometimes they're like, it's my knee that hurts. I'm like, okay, but we're gonna have trouble up here too. If this is how you're coming in.
Exactly. Yeah, a lot of times with athletes too, I'm like, you're not weak. It's not because of weakness. So what is it? Your muscles are underengaged. So like we do a lot of neuromuscular control as well, which is huge. Like the brain connection between that and the muscle. Like you guys know, the muscles are dumb. They don't fire for nothing. So we got to get that brain connection going, and we do a lot of work with that too. So then once we get that shoulder sitting in a proper position and moving like in a sequence pattern that it's supposed to, they're good. And then we reinforce that obviously with very specific exercises. So people think they're coming to see us to do like all these heavy weights and stuff like that. We have like our NFL guys and they're struggling with like bands and stuff and little things, and it's like, oh, you're not as strong as you thought, right? It's just because the muscles turned off. So And then they're like, oh my God, this is blowing my mind. Yeah, this is blowing my mind. They want to come in there and lift like heavy weights. It's not about that.
And then they come back in and they're like, dude, I'm better. Yeah, I'm a better athlete.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's one of the things I really like about our body work is like, it's not the most comfortable thing, but it forces you to be present and in your own body. Like that fascia release, like you have to make a mind-muscle connection. Taking those deep breaths and just relaxing so your body can get out of the fight or flight state into the calm and relaxation.
That's and a lot of our athletes too, after you start doing body work and explaining, they'll know when their hips are rotated. They start to know after a while. They're like, oh my God, I don't think my glutes firing. I think my hips rotated. And that's always so kind of cool to see because they're creating their own body awareness from some of this stuff. So then they're like, okay, I need to come in and make an adjustment, or I need to do X, X, and X. And so that's when it's kind of cool too. And, right before a game or a match, you're warming up and your glutes aren't firing and you can kind of self-correct, a little bit so that you can go out and perform, So, I always like that too. So, super cool.
It sounds like you guys get pretty fulfilled with your job. My biggest fulfillment is when they hop off the table and they're like,
oh my God.
Oh, that's how it's supposed to feel. And then they're moving their hips and I'm like, yeah, no popping, locking, grinding. You can move efficiently. And it's just one of the best feelings to see their face light up. They're like, oh, I can go out and compete now. Like they've done it to me a million times. I was a client before I was working here and they were just like, Mitch, what are you doing? I'm walking in with like half a hip. They can attest
Oh,
to
he's
it.
saying, can I play tonight?
It happens all the time, and I was half the reason they're like, you got to do this stuff at home, and I'm like, no.
Now you get it. Now you can tell you.
Oh, I get it.
The same thing.
I'm like, just don't do what I did.
Absolutely.
Going off of that, what do you, like? So tell us a little bit about your guys' structure. Like, how do you guys operate, and like, what are your 3 roles?
Yeah. You gotta tell.
We all train people, but I'd say what each of us kind of does is a little different. I would kind of say Stacy does a lot of the myofascial release with older clientele, and then she also does a lot of post-PT rehab, and Damien does a lot of just, strength conditioning and getting his clients stronger, and I kind of in between both of them. I do a lot of the post-PT knee rehab, a lot of the ACL stuff, and then I got regular clients where I'm just, training them, getting them stronger. And,
Nice.
I do a good mixture of that.
For me, I feel like I'm kind of a transition way. He takes all of our high-end athletes. Like, he knows what he's doing. I got to give that to Damien because, that's his bread and butter. So for me, it's like I can take a kid who's about 50%, get him to about 75 or 80, and then I let Damien take him the rest of the way. Most of the time, it depends because, I do a lot of soccer athletes, and I leave the baseball, the football, the track, like the straight speed. I leave that to Damien. If I have a kid and I have a plateau, I'm sending them to Damien. He just knows how to get the neuromuscular facilitation going.
Well, but I would say with all of us though, like, we've trained, I think, each other's athletes or people a lot. And so, we're so big on learning, you guys. We don't, you know how it is, like some of these PTs or trainers or strength coaches, their egos are so big.
Yes.
They can't learn from other people. And I learn every day from all of these guys.
Yes.
And so sometimes it's always good to have someone else's side.
What nutrition, what trainer did you have?
Right.
Oh, I went to a sports performance coach before and it didn't work.
It worked, right.
Okay, who did you go see? The sports performance didn't work, the coach didn't work.
Coach didn't work.
That's
right,
how it is.
exactly.
Literally how it is here. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Super cool.
But super effective. Like, we never hear really people saying they don't see results from it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's our entire program that works, not just this. This isn't like a, like a fix all, but it's in our sequence
It's
of
the whole
programming.
program.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, because again,
Continue.
one of the people was the shoulder person, and since they were doing absolutely nothing to get the scapula to move correctly,
Yeah.
dry needling probably wasn't going to fix that either.
You have to get to the
Right.
foundation. Yeah,
Right.
and we don't just blanket statement on everyone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, some PTs are lazy too. They just
That is
get on the
true.
bike, do a couple of needles, or go over and do these exercises. And like, as you guys know too, with like even our crossover symmetry,
Right.
because even some of our high level athletes, I'm
Yeah.
like, you've done some of these exercises before,
Right.
but I'm going to show you why what we're doing is going to be a little different.
Yeah.
So, especially like our functional CrossFit lifters and something, like
Yep.
we do these all the time.
Right.
And it's like, I'm like, all right, show me what you've been doing. And they're like,
Right. You're
I'm like, all right, that's why you're still in pain.
That's
So
why
we
you're
get to
still
the
in
like, obviously shoulder back and down.
Yep.
And then we take them through that neuromuscular control and facilitation.
Yep.
Just like that. So that's why like we're very specific with exercises.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to get
There's
them
so many that
engaged.
then like even baseball, like keeping your shoulder, a lot of people are doing this.
For
Keeping
sure.
that shoulder back and down and just training your body. You're not weak, your body's just turned off. So
Absolutely.
we do a lot of that stuff as well.
Turned off. That's a great way.
Yeah.
For sure. No, that's perfect, man.
Nice.
Man, and I would just love to see, like, when you guys are working with like a athlete, kind of,
Okay.
and everyone's got different things. It's just kind of how you guys, you know what I mean? Like,
learn about what you do, I can send them in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, if you have like business cards, I can go and talk about it too.
For sure. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Let's
no
definitely
problem.
stay connected too.
Let's do it.
Hit me up on Instagram so I can check you guys out too.
Awesome. Sweet.
Sounds
Sweet.
Will do.
What do you guys' day look like? You got patient or clients?
Yeah, I have 4 after class. So I have 3 to 7. Yeah, so I have 4 one-on-ones.
Okay.
Not too shabby.
One ACL rehab later today, and then baseball the rest of the day. So.
Oh, really? Are you guys pretty much at the, I know you got a class and stuff, like, are you at the facility like all day?
I'm
Class?
at, do you know the B45 facility?
Is that 𝗙𝗧𝗕?
It's 𝗙𝗧𝗕, yeah. I've been doing a lot of baseball training there, so like
Okay,
pitching
so
lessons.
you're doing
and-
both.
Where you
Okay.
at?
It's on like off of 9th Street, right by
Okay.
Wings West over there.
I need to
That
get in
sounds like
contact with
right.
I
him.
know, right?
I was short enough.
I
so-
trained with him when I was younger.
Oh, Pete, yeah,
Yeah.
he's awesome.
He was like straight out of
So
hockey
cool.
though when I was training with him.
Yeah,
He was
still has-
terrible.
He's probably still has his French accent.
Yeah, he was throwing batting practice and hitting me every time.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
good now. He's
I mean,
dialed now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Straight out of hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then I have Ford Central baseball training stuff later today
Okay.
too. So
Really cool. Well, enjoy your day. I'm glad that we connected.
Yeah,
We'll see you guys
absolutely.
soon for sure.
thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks
Sure,
again.
for sure. Yes, of course.
You guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the sunshine while we have it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you join my mentorship group. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at @OdellMiller25. And like this and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos. Leave a comment below just so I know to keep producing this. Because if you don't like it, I'm still going to make it. So make sure you show me anyway. Let's go. Catch you guys in the next one.